It was dark when Eragon jolted upright in bed, breathing hard. Book 1, Eragon. Chapter 13, The Madness of Life. And Chapter 14, A Rider's Blade. Welcome to Eragon and Back Again, a podcast where we explore Christopher Paolini's inheritance cycle one chapter at a time. I'm Darien Smartt.
And I'm Lucy Hart.
And oh boy.
Oof. Oof.
This is the culmination of where all of these chapters have been heading.
Yeah. And it's just brutal but so like beautifully brutal. I don't know how else to describe that, but it's like so, we go back to it all the time. Yep. So well done. So well done. Paolini does such a good job, and my eyes are watering because I keep yawning.
Oh, sleepy Lucy. But before we get into it,
yes,
Luce, what is your spark of inspiration this week?
I think my spark of inspiration is gonna be, I started a new book series on Audible. And it is called Hunter by, I think, Mercedes Lackey, I believe is how I say the name. And it's basically like, I just got into it. I think I'm on like chapter 4 or something. I'm not very far deep into it. But it's very much like almost post-apocalyptic.
Ooh.
But like with magic and like not like zombie post-apocalyptic. It's like the world ended and magic has come back, or magic has re-entered the world in this case.
I like that.
Or just entered the world for the first time. And so they talk about like the main character reflects on like planes and like internet and stuff like this, and it's like that's no longer a thing, but it's like it was a thing. And but then there's a society that has been built up from the remnants of that. And one of the things that I really liked was it talks about cows, and it's like, yeah, they talk about how like they're like, cows used to be like these docile things. They are no longer, like, they're docile in a way, but like you can't catch them because they're so fast. Like they're really fast. Quick and cow. Yeah, and they're herds, and they like they're like a lot bigger or something like that. And they're very, very skittish, and it's really hard to tame them without them running away from you. So it was really interesting. Just like that was like in one of the first again, only chapter 4, but that was like in one of like the first chapters. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool that they talk about. And they actually, like, she's in this train, and it's like speeding along this old field of wheat, and it's like, yeah, this used to be like one of those farm fields, and she could still see the wheat and everything, and there's cows in the field, but it's like all wild, and no one is looking after it, and all these things. I'm like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And it also reminded me of Nora Roberts. Is that the romance author? I'm pretty sure. Nora Roberts, she wrote a post-apocalyptic called Year One. I think that's the first book. Yeah, the first book's called Year One by Nora Roberts. Chronicles of the One is what it is. And it is also very much like, so like in the Hunter book that I'm reading, it was magic gets put into the world by this thing, like this devastating thing that happened. In the One Chronicles, something bad happens and magic is brought back into the world. So magic was part of the world, and then this happens, and now it's all this part of the world again. Yeah. And so it just like it made me really like I want to write something like that. Like I could do something like that, or it was like post-apocalyptic, but it instead of like technology like goes downhill, and then it's just magic is brought back into the world. And I was like, that would be kind of cool. So it just inspired me to like also pick up my own writing, and I'm like, because I want to write about magic and stuff.
Love writing about
do
magic
all the things
stuff.
and it was also like they talk about the limits of magic too, and I think that in order to make magic realistic, you have to have like rules in check, that it does take a toll on people who do that. Like Eragon, the books, the Eragon series like does a really good job with that, I think. And so I really like that, and like that she in the Hunter books, there's a word right there.
Hard magic system?
Yeah, there's
a price for magic?
A price for magic, yeah. In which, like, she just burns so much calories, and she's starving, and all these things. And so it's really good. I think. So it made me want to think more about the limits and checks I'm going to have in my book about my magic systems and stuff. So it was like I got really excited about that. So
that's very
good.
I
feel like that was a very long tangent, but yes.
No, that was awesome.
What is your sparks of inspiration and or geos?
Just sparks of inspiration right now. But yes, mine is also a book. It is this. I'll show you because it's right here.
Oh, yes.
Beautiful
Yes,
book.
yes.
It is called Girl, Goddess, Queen by Bea Fitzgerald. This is a new book that just came out. It is a YI rom-com retelling of Persephone and Hades, which just baseline sounds a very simple bubblegum pop. It's really not. This book is like layered and complex and beautiful and
I'm very
painful. Yeah, it kicks ass. It's so well done. It's like takes the myths that are so well known and even like deep dives deeper into like the ones that like this wasn't something you covered in your like 6th grade Greek unit. Like let's really dive deep and like these like really ingenious interpretations that feel so fresh while simultaneously being so true to the source material. Like a very like when I say true to the source material, I don't want to be a mistake to be like, oh, every single thing is exactly the way it was presented in the original myths, because that's not it. Nor do I feel like if you're going to do a retelling that is an approach that modern storytellers should necessarily take.
Yeah.
Because I won't get that's for my other podcast, Music Mythology. But insofar when I say true, it is you can very clearly see, oh yes, this makes sense as an interpretation based on the myths, not necessarily a beat for beat retelling.
Yeah, I always I feel like that's always better than the retelling. But yes, continue. Sorry.
It's just really good. It's incredibly this is I think Fitzgerald's like debut novel.
Yeah,
so strong, so compelling. The writing is like bright and lively and
that's so
warm and rich, and yeah, it's so cool. Currently, if you are in the United States like I am, you can't just go out and buy this book. It does not have a North American publisher. But you can go on the Blackwell website and buy it for free international shipping. If you're in Europe, I'm pretty sure you can just go to your favorite local bookstore and have that. If you prefer audiobooks and you speak German, there you go. I think that's the only audiobook version currently.
Yeah, I tried to look it up on Audible, and the only one was in German, and I was like, no.
Well, so hopefully there'll be. It came out as like a #1 bestseller for the category. It was the first like new book in the children's YA genre to do that in 5 years.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine this one isn't going to be more internationally published. But it's
eventually.
Yeah. So good. Could not recommend it enough. Girl, Goddess, Queen by Bea Fitzgerald just kicks ass and just makes me want to like create characters that are so alive.
Yes,
like, I want to make characters that are so alive and so unique and distinct from one another.
Absolutely.
And speaking of alive and being alive, Garrow is not.
No, that was such a good and terrible transition.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Eragon wakes up and his uncle has
died.
Which we all knew was coming.
We all knew it was coming.
Like, there's no way Uncle Garrow's gonna bounce back from acid splash.
No.
But
did you have, before we dive in, did you have a summary to read?
Oh my god, I forgot to write one.
Oh no!
No, I totally forgot. Oh my gosh. Okay. I can hold on. I can ad lib it. So madness. The madness of life. Got Eragon awakes to find his worst fear realized. Garrow has passed away. Eragon finds the other members of the household, including Katrina, gathered around his uncle's bedside, giving him the last gifts from the living to the dead. Katrina has a remark about how she'd hoped to call Garrow father one day, which definitely hits Eragon in a very painful manner. He eventually falls back to sleep, but that is more out of exhaustion than anything else.
Yep, absolutely.
And this chapter is only 2 pages long.
Yeah.
Though unlike the last time we had a short chapter, absolutely, like, yes, this being its own chapter.
Yeah. Because we did talk about that, whereas the other one just flowed so easily into the other. It was like, this shouldn't have been a second chapter. Mm-hmm. But this is so impactful that, yes, it does deserve its own piece for
Mm-hmm.
that impact.
Yeah, like being the like the sudden like gut punch twist of like the previous chapter being like, oh, we'll have to wait and see, but this could mean he'll recover. And then we turn the literal like the next page is like, oh snap, Garrow is like, Eragon wakes up, something's clearly very wrong, and he sees like it's not confirmed until the top of like in my book it's 133.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of like good lines in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when he wakes up, it was a few hours before dawn, the time when nothing moves and life waits for the first warm touches of sunlight. And I'm like, life, interesting choice.
Yeah, and I actually like really like that because it's always like death is always described as this cold, like it's always like kind of like when reading it, it's always like something chilly enters the room and it's like, oh, death is near, or, something like that. So I think that's a really good because and Eragon didn't just wake up, he jolted upright in bed, breathing hard. The room was chilly. Goosebumps formed on his arms and shoulders. And it's almost like he was woken up by the passage of death kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's just how I read it and interpreted it as. And I really like that. I don't know. I really like that visual where he just suddenly jumps up like everything is silent. It's like what woke him up kind of thing. So I do really like that.
But so okay, that makes like sense, and actually reminds me of like a story my mom told me once when her grandfather passed away. She like the night he passed, she like woke up suddenly and looked at the clock, and it was like 2:12 a.m. and she's like, what is going on? Went back to sleep. Later on, family calls her, lets her know Grandpa passed at 2:12 this morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, except for Eragon. Garrow didn't just now pass away.
Yeah,
because they have already prepared his body. He was dressed in clean clothes. His hair had been combed back. His face was calm. He might have been sleeping were it not for the silver amulet clasped around his neck and the dried hemlock on his chest. The last gifts from the living to the dead.
And it's also
no one got Eragon. Sorry.
No. I agree. But I was gonna say too, like it would make more sense if there was a time between him waking up and like maybe he got up and was like really confused and like looked around. But no, it's mention, like, he hurried.
Got out of dress,
yeah,
that's not enough time.
But that's not gonna take. Yeah, and it also says like where I just read it. Where are you? He quietly got out of bed and dressed with apprehension. He hurried down the hallway. So that's not gonna take very long at all. Like not long enough to do all these things, but. Yeah, no, and I agree with what you were saying is like no one got him.
Like maybe even not immediately after they realize Garrow has died and like prepare the body, but they're all gathered in there. Like I don't think the excuse of like, oh, Eragon needed to rest. Like there's no point. Like no, like none of that.
Like none of that is important. Like
you're all holding this like vigil of mourning.
Yeah, like as the like names as Garrow's like living relative, closest living relative, Eragon should have been. Like Eragon was a son to Garrow. Yeah. Like they should have woken him up. They should have gotten him. And it would like I don't know. I feel like going along those lines, it would have been so impactful if Gertrude came up and woke him up and. Horst. Yeah, Horst too. Like someone wake him up and they go, Eragon, he goes, what? And then they just kind of like struggle for a minute and he goes, Eragon just knows. And he goes, no. And then he gets
wakes up bolt right and they're already like entering his room. Yeah. And like he did wake up, he's like, but he knows that their entrance is not what woke him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just, I almost feel like they didn't wake Eragon so Paolini could demonstrate grieving death tradition with the hemlock and the silver amulet and be like, this world has culture.
Yeah.
But I almost think like if he'd woken up and when he like goes to the room and Gertrude is already standing there holding those things, I don't know. It's weird that they didn't. And I don't think there's any excuse for them not getting Eragon. Mm-hmm.
I also think that, like, I know we're also gonna combine a writer's blade. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And I think, like...
No. We're going to do a 2-page episode. It's been 15 minutes. Goodbye, everybody. And she's Hart.
Fair. But it's, like, when they do... Like, when he creeps out of the house, like, they could have had a scene where he stops into Garrow's room and sees Garrow dressed in the last like
Yeah, and seeing
that
it then.
scene,
Mhm.
but later. So it's like, I agree. It could have been like Gertrude is holding those items, or Eragon could have said goodbye to his uncle one last time and seen that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like it could have been portrayed, but
Mhm.
out later and made a bigger impact.
Yeah, because
But yeah,
it does serve as an excellent quiet moment of world building. 'Cause
Yes.
it doesn't go into like why they have those. It makes a big
Yeah.
deal of it. The line, "The last gifts from the living to the dead," is so good.
so good.
And it, like I said, like it does demonstrate that this world has history.
Yep.
Like deep history.
Yep.
In like grieving traditions are
Mhm.
incredibly impactful.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just deeply perplexing. And because Katrina's like talking and she's not actively crying, she probably has already cried.
Yep.
Then and she said, "I had hoped to call him father one day." Call him father, he thought bitterly. A right even I don't have. Eragon, but like whose fault is that? Because you definitely thought Garrow was your dad until you were at least 10. I don't know when.
Yeah,
his
we
aunt
don't
died.
know.
But
yeah.
for a while, which means you were definitely calling him dad. So, like, I don't know. Feels like a choice you made.
Yeah.
And now we're getting into some, like, I don't know. There's some high fantasy medieval West traditions of family and blood and parentage that I'm like, oh, we're doing that now.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
it's like what makes a father a father? Like,
Yeah.
it.
Garrow's speech a couple chapters ago.
Yeah,
He was just
like-
preparing his sons for the world.
Yeah. Like, it's. Okay, I feel like that term is not great to use. Sperm donor is probably not the best phrase to use. You can cut that out.
Yeah.
But I think, like, what makes a father is, like, more than just siring a child. Like, that's how a child is created, but it's also, like...
That's not how a child
That's
is raised.
Yeah, like, that's not a father. Like,
Mhm.
a father is there for that child, raises that child, takes care of that child. And that's what Garrow was.
Yeah.
And in all sense and purposes... Garrow was Eragon's father.
Yeah.
Like, entirely.
It is somewhat I don't know if this is something intentional that we're supposed to interpret about Eragon's character.
Yeah.
That this is entirely internalized feeling he has. Or if it is, like I said earlier, oh, this, like, high fantasy medieval Western aesthetic trope of
Yeah.
parentage and fatherhood.
Yeah.
And that kind of lineage. Because... maybe it is, like, because he thinks, because Eragon starts he starts to cry, just, like, openly cry, and, like, Elaine comes and comforts him, and he continues to cry. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that it was not him trying to
Hide it.
the-
Yeah,
no,
100%. I do like
Yeah.
that.
But he has this thought of, like, mother, aunt, uncle. He had lost them all. Which, yeah, true. He lost his mother, aunt, and uncle. But it just coming so close about how he's like, I don't even have the right to call him father. Or it's like,
Yeah.
is it about Garrow? Is it about not having a father at all? Like, he doesn't think father lost, but that's
Yeah.
nothing. Just loss of everything and not having this. Like, isn't something that seems to have been a thought Eragon had up until now regarding a lack of biological father?
Yeah.
Because even when he talks about or reflects on, like, finding out that Garrow and Marie, when he finds out that his aunt and uncle aren't his parents,
I'm like, I don't remember.
and how his mother had given birth to him and then ran away.
Yeah.
His thing is like, damn, did she, like, not
Want me? Yeah.
But there was, like, we have yet to have him reflect on, like, who is my dad?
Yeah.
And it's almost like, does it not matter? Because Garrow, but with him having this thought of, like, I didn't even have a right to call him father. Then it's like, Eragon, do we have some deep-seated issues that we're going to spend the next 3 books unpacking? Okay, but that's fine, but you have to let me know up front or it's entrapment.
Yeah. And I also think, like, I feel like it might have, and it could be, like, I feel like up until this point, I don't know if, I honestly can't remember, which is awful. But, like, I can't remember if Eragon's ever really had those kinds of thoughts. Like, he's called him uncle.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've ever had this, like, cringing or, like, shying away from him viewing Garrow as anything else but his father.
Yeah.
But it's like his passing brought those emotions back. And that's why he's like, son of a, like, fuck. Like, I thought of him so much like a father, but I can't truly call him father because he wasn't my actual father.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it could have been just, like, the grieving process of him being, like, it was just, like, this like a double spike, like Garrow's death, and then like I can't even call him dad even though I want to, kind of thing. So it could have just been this like double whammy for him. And if it, in that case, like again, Paolini showing not telling is so fucking good. It's so good.
And then Eragon has the grief moment that I think so many folks will relate to, is that anger.
Yep.
He turned his tear-damp face towards the heavens and shouted, "What god would do this? Show yourself!" He heard people running to his room, but no answer came from above. He didn't deserve this!
Yep.
Comforting hands touched him. He was aware of Elaine sitting next to him. She held him as he cried, and eventually, exhausted, he slipped into an unwilling sleep. Elaine again, the hero of the chapter!
Yep, Elaine's so good. And, like, I just imagining, like, the people, like...
realizing, oh shit, Eragon is awake.
Yeah, and I feel like it's also, like, just, like, being down the hall or being wherever, and them just being like, oh my god, like, Eragon, like, what's he going... And then just hearing him shout that. For Elaine... Because I feel like she's very, very caring individual. I feel like that just hit her. Yeah, just absolutely just...
Yeah. It may have been rough. Like, they like, let's not wake Eragon yet. Like, wanting to spare him from the pain.
Yeah.
Let him get some sleep a few hours more. And then we will tell him when he wakes. And probably more of a... They should have woke him up. But they didn't know he was going to wake up so early. Like, he's hurt and injured and still also is healing. Yeah. So.
Saphira, too, like, he felt Saphira contact him, but he pushed her aside and let himself be swept away by sorrow. So it's like, even, like, we've been talking about the past, like, several chapters about how deep their connection is. And, like, even through their deep connection, like, Eragon's like, no, I just want to be alone. I can't do this right now. I have to be alone.
It's crushing and it drags you down to the point where you don't even have the strength to grab onto a lifeline. You just need to be crushed by it.
Absolutely.
And then we have a writer's blade.
And fucking Braum.
But first, Saphira.
And her amazingness, yes.
Oh my gosh. Shall we do a reading?
Oh my god.
Would you like to be Saphira?
I can be Saphira, and I'm not going to do the growl voice.
No. So when he first wakes up, his, like, Eragon thinks. And it's interesting because it's like, his thoughts are usually in italicized, but because Saphira answers him instantly, and I don't think it's like, she's not like, they can't hear each other's every thought. Yeah. So I think when he wakes up, he does, without saying so directly, reach out for her now that, like, that heavy instant grief has passed. Yep. Because she can't, when she was reaching to try to reach out to him, then he couldn't, he just pushed her away. They weren't having that connection. She was just feeling his, like, grief. So.
I like that. I was like, because, like, my other thought, too, was, like, she's just kind of on the outskirt of his mind, like, not entering his thoughts, but, like, on the outskirts of mind, just waiting for him to say something. And when he says something, she jumps in immediately. Yeah, but I like what you said with him reaching out unconsciously to her. I do like that.
I can't live with this.
Then don't.
How? Garrow is gone forever, and in time I must meet the same fate. Love, family, accomplishments. They're all torn away, leaving nothing. What is the worth of anything we do?
The worth is the act. Your worth halts when you surrender the will to change and experience life. But options are before you. Choose one and dedicate yourself to it. The deeds will give you new hope and purpose.
But what can I do?
The only true guide is your heart. Nothing less than its supreme desire can help you.
What do you want me to do? Pursue the strangers?
Yes.
I just
that's good.
That's so good.
Because it's
yeah, man, let's fucking go.
Yeah, and I think, like, that is saying something too, because flight of destiny, like her running from these strangers.
What she says, like, he asks her why, and she basically is like, "You reminded me of my duty as a dragon." Yep. And I realized what it means to be a dragon. Actually, you were reading Saphira, so do you want to...
No, yeah, I can read the whole thing. Remember what you said in the spine? How you reminded me of my duty as a dragon, and I returned with you despite the urging of my instinct. So too must you control yourself. I thought long and deep the past few days and realized what it means to be a dragon and rider. It is our destiny to attempt the impossible, to accomplish great deeds regardless of fear. It is our responsibility to the future.
That's so good.
It's so good. Like, and I do think, I do like the fact that she's came to that realization, but Eragon was like the nudge. It wasn't because of Eragon in which she had those emotions. Like, she is a figure and is emotionally able to come to those conclusions by herself. But she did have someone she loves and trusts and supports her and everything. Give her that encouraging little nudge, even if it was like
past her fear.
Exactly, even though he did it in kind of a jackass kind of way,
like,
making her so mad.
Be afraid. But she like, thought but like that move is like, because he knew it was like, you're a dragon and you're letting fear control you, and she's like, right. So she's kind of saying to him, you're a writer, you cannot let fear control you. Fear and
grief, exactly, like both, absolutely.
And it's not her saying he should not grieve. And
no, yeah,
it's more her saying, let's not through your grief take action. Yeah,
and I do like that she's not, because again, like, this was again written when like we were in high school-ish, middle school area, like, and
I was definitely, this came out in 2002.
Yeah, so
I was in second grade.
Oh man. 2002.
It was republished, looks like copyright 2002 and 2006.
I was in middle school, I think, because I graduated 2010. So if I'm doing my math right.
No, you would have been in fourth grade.
Fourth grade? Okay, elementary school, yeah. So it was like written and published when I was in elementary school. And like in that time, like my biggest thing was always like hide your emotions and like all that kind of thing. But here she's not saying that. She's not telling Eragon to suppress put it away and like grow up and do all these things. She is saying direct it. Like, feel those feelings, yes, but don't let it like consume you. Yes, I like that word. And then let it guide you to a greater purpose. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
So good.
Like, so good.
I also like, they're like arguing back and forth, and she's like, we need to go, man. Like, people are like, my tracks, they know what's up and you have nothing left here. Like, we gotta go.
Yep. Eventually I will be exposed.
And Eragon, like, but he still like shrink from the idea of forsaking Palancar Valley. It was his home, which is like for me a throwback to like what I talked about chapters ago of liking that Eragon loves his home.
Yep.
And does not see it as so small and insignificant and like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get to the big city. I gotta get to base to join the rebellion. Like, it's like, it's my home.
Yep.
And I love it. I don't want to abandon it, but I think very quickly. And then the line where she's like, if he leaves, like, he's like, am I strong enough for this?
You have me.
Again.
It's so good. Like, and I like double highlighted that because it's like, he's not alone. And I think, like, again, it almost kind of goes back to where he's still thinking in terms of himself before Saphira. Because he's spent 15 years basically by himself and then a few months with Saphira.
It hasn't yet fully came to comprehend what that really means.
Absolutely.
Is that he is not alone.
He's not alone.
And if he is, I think it's also, like, not just like, what if I'm not strong enough? Well, you're not alone.
Yeah.
He says, am I strong enough for this? You have me. Of course you are. My presence makes you stronger. We are stronger.
Yep.
It's not are you strong enough? It's are we strong enough?
Yep.
We are.
Yep. I like that.
That's very good. You overhear. I didn't do the. I'm sorry, listeners. I forgot to write the bios. This one we got. So he overhears a conversation between Elaine and Horst, which is very much like they're very like worried about Eragon, but Horst is also like, I know he's not telling us the full story. Like, he clocks about how, like, he said he dragged Garrow from the farm, but the tracks of Eragon's just kind of stop.
Yep, they were, like, following, and they could see how far he had dragged him to Palancar, or to, Carvajal. But then they were following backwards, and they stopped, and then they found a lot of giant tracks. Footprints.
And then those disappear.
Yep.
All the way back to the farm, and it's like, you didn't drag him all the way.
Yep.
And so there is something that they know he's not telling
them.
And
I think that goes even back to like the chapter before where he's telling Horst what happened. And he says like, oh, I dragged him, da-da-da. And Horse is just like,
Interesting.
Because it's like, by that time, it had been like a couple days, so they had been to the farm and back.
Yeah.
So, like...
Horse knows, he's like, no, you didn't.
Yeah, like, he knows he's being lied to. But he doesn't call him out on it. Because he's like...
He also can't figure out why Eragon's lying.
Exactly.
It's not like he believes that Eragon did this to the farmer, did this to Garrow. Like, they don't view Eragon as a threat. But Horse knows... And also, like, this is the first time Horse is telling his wife about what it is. Because he's, like, maybe hoping Eragon could provide an explanation.
Yep.
That would result in, like, he doesn't have to, like, worry and tell a thing. And it's like, oh, no, well, gotta let my wife know that something is very wrong here. And not just in the what we see on the surface way.
Yep. And I do like how even Elaine is like, maybe what he saw scared him so much that he doesn't want to talk about it. So again, going back to your point where they're like, they're not suspicious of Eragon doing this thing. They're like, maybe what he saw was so traumatic that he just doesn't want to talk about it, or he doesn't even remember it, kind of thing.
Yeah, for real. And Eragon's like, well, we gotta skip town. And he's like, I can, like, fly on Saphira, but not easily. So he steals some hides.
Large ox hides, yep.
Yeah, from the local tanner. And he does not like that. He's like, he also steals meat from... Horse. Or he steals some supplies from Horse.
Yep.
Like tools. And the hides from Gedrick the tanner. And he's like, it's not really stealing. I'll pay them back. I'll pay Gedrick back someday along with Horse. And he's like, it's just... He's like,
it's just borrowing. Yeah. Long term.
Yeah, it's credit. I'm buying it on credit. He's like, not like that. But then he rolls around and he's like, well, if he's going to steal, it might as well be from Sloane. Yeah. Zero thought of paying this motherfucker.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No. Yes, he should have stolen more from Sloane. Like, for real?
Yeah.
I don't know why we haven't actively been thinking about how this is all Sloane's fault, because we know he's the one that told...
He was talking to the Razak.
Yeah.
I gave up their name. He was talking to the strangers.
Right, hold on, say it again and I'll cut it.
Because, like, he was the last one that was talking to... Well, like, we don't know if that was the last people to talk to the strangers, but the last scene we saw of Sloane was talking to the strangers.
Yeah, telling about, and that's how Eragon knew, they're coming. Yeah. Because Horse is like, no one's told him anything, but some people might, and it is Sloane. So it's like, they knew that the egg was at the farm.
Yep.
Which is why they attacked with such ferocity, because they didn't attack the village that way.
Oh, yeah, nope.
Like... So if they didn't know it was there, maybe they would have gone and just found out there's a farm, questioned Garrow, and then left. But because they knew, because Sloane told them, that's why they destroyed the farm searching for it.
Yep. And actually, like, I don't know if we want to talk about this. I think it's brought up later that I just remembered, or I'm just thinking about, is like the way the farm was destroyed, it was like they wanted Eragon to chase them because it was so I was like, I honestly can't remember, but it was so theatrical that they made it so brutal. And Garrow, they didn't just like stab Garrow, they like threw something on him that like injured him so badly,
destroyed his home, so Eragon wouldn't have a place. And it's like, you're right, it was very much like a, well, if we can't find you, we'll make you come to us.
Exactly.
Because they couldn't find the egg, and they're like, it must have hatched. Yeah. Which means there is a dragon. Which means which means they could run from us if they know we're after them. So let's make them come to us.
Yeah, like, let's use, like, revenge. Like, and they're probably, like, in that situation, it's almost a little bit chilling because it's like they're not scared of Eragon because they're like, you can chase us.
Yeah, come and get us.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Brom
going somewhere.
Oh. Okay, like, that is good. He rolls around. Brom scowled angrily at him, an ugly wound on the side of his head. And he's trying to, like, Eragon's like, I'm just leaving, whatever. I hope you have enough meat to feed your dragon.
And he's like, what are you talking about? And Brom's like, I'm not fucking stupid.
He calls to Saphira. He's like, we've been discovered. I need you now. All of a sudden, like, she does come, and Brom's kind of interrogating him, asking him questions. Eragon's freaking out. And she's, like, circling far ahead. And he's like, you come on? She's like, no, I'm just going to watch for a time.
Yeah, and it's also, like, Brom stared into the distance and moved his lips soundlessly as if he were talking to someone else. And it's like, then said, there were clues and hints everywhere. I had only to pay attention. Anyone with the right knowledge could have done the same. And so it's like...
Yeah, there's been a dragon in the nearby woods for like a couple months now.
Yeah.
And Eragon just rolls up asking dragon questions and the mark on the hand and yeah.
Yeah, everything.
But it's like when Saphira's circling, she doesn't immediately come. He's like, why? Because of the slaughter at Doru Abria. What does that mean?
I think it's Dora Aruba.
You know, that's probably better.
Because I feel like that's what, like, looking at it, my brain's like, that's not right.
No.
And my memory is like Dora Aruba.
Yeah, that's better. I added letters that aren't in there. I do it all the time.
You are good.
Brom says, like, oh, I've talked to her, and she's agreed to stay above as we settle our differences. And Eragon's like, how is Brom able to talk to Saphira? What is happening?
I do like the realization that he has no control over this situation at all. And he's just like, I don't know what to do.
And he's very like, I don't know if this is legit, but he's like, doesn't know if he actually wants to help or if it's a trap, because Brom is offering to help him go after the strangers. Because he knows about Saphira and convince Saphira to let's talk. Then Saphira trusts him, so okay, that'll have to be good enough for a while. So they go to the farm, and he also he's like, I have to leave a message for Rowan, which Brom has already taken care of. Leaving a letter for him for Gertrude, and it's like, oh wow, Brom has been like super on the ball. Like he's just ready to go.
He's like on.
Mm-hmm. We get an indication that we can probably trust Brom when they reach the wreckage of the farm. Brom's eyebrows beetled with anger.
Yep.
And so you see that he's like not happy. We find out that Brom was injured because he went after the strangers himself.
Yep.
Trying to see if he could like take care of the problem, and they got the jump on him.
Yep.
But did not kill him when they could have. So again, that circles back to the idea that they hurt Garrow and destroyed the farm so badly as a message to Eragon.
Yep.
They didn't have to do this.
Yep. Nope. Absolutely. I agree. And then I do like we get Brom seeing Saphira for the first time. And I have it highlighted. It's Brom stepped forward with an expression both solemn and joyous. His eyes were shining and a tear shone on his cheek before it disappeared into his beard. And you're just watching her.
And that her name is Saphira.
Yeah, and he like, what was his reaction?
What's her name? Saphira. A peculiar expression crossed Brom's face. He ground the butt of his staff into the earth with such force his knuckles turned white. Of all the names you gave me, it was the only one she liked. I think it fits, Eragon added quickly. Fits it does, said Brom. There was something in his voice Eragon could not identify. Was it loss, wonder, fear, envy?
It's so good, and it just like we get the feeling that we had that feeling when he read the story in like the first couple I can't remember which chapter.
T for 2.
Yeah, and when he told the story too at the end of that one after the troop came and all the things where he was crying at the end of it.
That's the Dragon Tales.
Yes, Dragon Tales. Yes, and so it's like we get this feeling that like Brom like cares deeply for the dragon and dragon riders, and so it's that adds to the mystique as well because it's just like, what kind of reaction is that, Brom?
Yeah,
it does give just an interesting it adds to his mystique. Even more than he's already wrapped around.
And that's actually my problem with the rest of this chapter.
Yeah,
Brom's mystique.
Yeah,
I am instantly over it.
Yeah.
And so he's like,
so freaking cryptic.
He like doesn't tell Eragon why do you want to follow me? To put it bluntly, I'm a storyteller, and I happen to think you will make a fine story. You're the first writer to exist outside the king's rule for over 100 years. What will happen? Will you perish a martyr? Will you join the Varden? Or will you kill Galbatorix? All fascinating questions. I highlighted the questions because I thought it was interesting that it's like, oh, will you die? Will you join the Varden? Will you kill a king? But none of them are, will you join him?
Yeah.
Like, that's not even, you're outside of his control, and not for a second does Brom think Eragon will ever fall into Galbatorix's control.
Yeah, I do really like that. Yep.
So then he won't tell him the real reason he wants to go, because you obviously know, not because of the story. He's like, okay, how can you talk to Saphira? It's like, well, anyone can do it with enough training. Don't worry about that. He distracts Eragon by giving him a sword.
Yeah, he's like, hey, look at this shiny thing.
Look at this big shiny sword. Look, it's got a ruby in the pommel. It's so impressive. It was once a rider's blade. When a rider finished his training, the elves would present him with a sword. So why are you giving it to Eragon now?
Yeah, bud.
You know who has 0 training?
Eragon.
Eragon. He has no business getting this sword.
And it's also, like, as far as we know, the only training in any weaponry Eragon has is with a bow.
Really should have. I think you mentioned this some time back, but really should have just focused on the bow thing.
Just really focus on the bow
sword,
thing.
so cool. But, like, yeah, and I think he's got to do training with a sword. You should be proficient in, like...
in close combat.
But we should also, like, I don't know, he was much better at ranged weapons.
Yeah.
So...
I would have loved to see, like, Eragon, like, I guess it may be a little spoilery, but, like, I would have loved to see him expand in his ability at bow and arrow. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like you could have done, like, some cool really cool shit with that, especially, like, intertwining it with magic and making it, like, I don't know. I just feel like it would have been really cool. And it could have even, like, I'm probably going way too off on this, but, like, it could have set Eragon and Saphira off, like, in being different, because it's like they don't typically fight with a sword. Like, Eragon doesn't fight with a sword, he fights with a bow and arrow rather than a sword. And I feel like that would have been just so cool, but that's me. I also really like ranged weapons. So.
Yeah. The sword's name is Zarok because we're in a high fantasy novel.
Yep.
So all the swords have names.
And it's not like it's ZAR''ROC.
Yeah, the apostrophe.
Yep.
Brom gives it to him. Consider it yours. You have more claim to it than I do. And before all is done, I think you will need it. Saphira comes over to check it out. He pulled out the blade and showed her the sword. Yeah, it has power, she said, touching the point with her nose. The metal's iridescent color rippled like water as it met her scales. She shifted her head with a satisfied snort, and the sword resumed its normal appearance. Eragon sheathed it, troubled. And Brom talks about, like, oh, that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. Dragons will constantly amaze you. Things happen around them. Mysterious things that are impossible anywhere else. Oh, why did that happen?
No idea.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's just to show, like, oh, dragons can do mysterious things.
Yeah. And I'm wondering, and I honestly don't remember if this is a thing, because he talks about how the blade usually matched, like, the dragon color.
I was about to say, yeah.
And so I was like, if it was made from scales, like fallen scales from a dragon, like, that would make sense, because as far as we know, this is the first contact. If the sword was made with dragon scales, it is the first contact with another dragon in X amount of whatever. So I feel like that might have made sense, but I'm also it's still just interesting.
Or if Saphira had changed the color of the blade, like you said, like Brom mentions that, you know, it's the custom was to have the blade's color match that of the rider's dragon.
Yep.
This blade is red, Saphira is blue.
Yep.
But I think we can make an exception in this case. So if in Saphira, the problem isn't that, like, oh, she did the water thing and then, like, whoa, but it was like, and Saphira just seems to do it just to check it out.
Yeah.
It seemed like a really wasted opportunity not to have her change the color so it matches her scales. Like, I think that would have been really cool.
Really cool. And I think, like, it does almost do the, what is it, when you tap on crystal to see if it's crystal?
Yeah.
It kind of has that vibe where it's like, oh, it's magical. Tap, tap. Yep, magical.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Cool, but I didn't... But why? Yeah. But why did she just... Okay.
I just think it would, if it rippled and then it just changed to, like, from the point of which she touched it, it turned an iridescent blue to match her scales.
Like, just make it match her scales. You just made a point about how it doesn't look like her, and usually they do, and she can do impossible things, so have her change the color. Or maybe she just now tried to change the color but couldn't do it because, like, the blade's elf magic, and so it's not as easy to manipulate. But, yeah, it was cool, but didn't do anything except let Brom talk about how dragons are mysterious and powerful. I'm like, but I knew that. You told me that already.
Yeah.
Eragon, there's much you don't know. Yeah, we know that. Eragon knows that too. Yeah. What was this passage for?
And it is, because it's, Brom does, I feel like he's laying on, like, uber thick.
Oh, uber thick. Like, oh, speaking of, like, uber thick, like, let me I skipped this passage earlier, but when he first sees Saphira.
Oh, yeah. Oh, his whole, like, internal monologue.
So it starts again. But how and where will it end? My sight is veiled. I cannot tell if this will be tragedy or farce, for the elements of both are here. However it may be, my station is unchanged, and whatever else he might have said faded away as Saphira proudly approached them.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is later on after the sword thing. He talks about the Razak.
Yeah, the Razak. We finally get a name.
And they're just scary.
Razak, yep. And it's like, I highlighted the definition. The Razak were never seen before Galbatorix came to power. He must have found them during his travels and enlisted them in his service. Little or nothing is known about them. However, I can tell you this. They aren't human. And that's like creepy.
Yep. And he just says, when I glimpsed one's head, it appeared to have something resembling a beak and black eyes large as my fist. And it's like, So doubtless the rest of their bodies are just as twisted. That's why they cover themselves with cloaks at all times. We talked about earlier, it felt like their bodies were misshapen.
And they were hiding something under there. It's like, what are you hiding under there? And it's
Your
like, now
body.
we know. It's
Everything
their literal body.
Yourself. They're
like, it's
themselves.
like, what it could have been just like, what if they're like, it like the weird, like, it looked like they were wearing packs. It's like, what if those weren't packs? Like, what if that was just their body that they just covered? Oh,
yeah. Like, what? So, yep, spooky
dudes.
Spooky whenever.
I just keep thinking about the movie, and I'm just like so disappointed. So disappointed. They could have made the Razak like so creepy, and they fucking weren't. Anyway,
talks about Brom says like whenever rumors reach Galbatorix of a dragon in land, he sends the Razak to investigate. A trail of death often follows them. Is this happened a lot? Like there are often rumors of how they're. Dragons are like really distinct. How often do you have rumors of a dragon?
You know, we don't ever learn that. Yeah. I don't think. Like we never learn if there was any other rumors at all. Like Brom mentions that Eragon is like the first dragon rider in over a century or something like that. But it's like we never know if there had been others. Yeah. On the off chance that there had been others. So it's like interesting.
There must have been if Galbatorix always sends these fools out. Yeah. But like how could you possibly have substantial rumors of a dragon? Because it's also like, okay, well, this also is like, wait, so if it's rumors of a dragon, then is the shade not working for Galbatorix? The guy from the prologues? We still haven't actually got confirmation about what the elf lady and prologue shades business were and what their alliances are. So we still don't know who's got what information and what's going on.
And that's actually like I highlighted that it's we don't even like even the characters like the Razak must have had a source of information outside of this valley, one who is probably dead by now. So it's like we don't know anything. Like we don't know who has it, because it's like
but they weren't asking about a dragon, they were asking about the egg.
The stone.
Stone. And they knew what it looked like, which means they know about the stone and the stuff that happened in the prologue.
Absolutely. And so it's like, and it just makes us like wonder like where is this outside source of information? Like who would have said what about it? Like it's so, and it's like, could it have been the shade? Like we're not really sure. It could have been like the shade could just be like a second, like a third party to all of this. There is the Razak, the Empire, and then the Shade. Like it could, they're all like separate kind of.
Yeah, and then there's also like there's the elf.
Yeah, exactly.
And the egg, like where did that come from? Yeah, there's a lot of parts that we don't know how things fit together yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And Eragon has no idea.
He has no idea how big this is.
Galbatorix and the Razak know that they know about Saphira, but no one else has seen her yet.
Yep.
Eragon finally is over this like cryptid storyteller nonsense.
And I'm like, yes, Eragon.
Yeah, I'm so into it. He demands to have answers. Like, how do you have a rider sword? How do you know about the Razak? And Brom's like, I thought I made it clear I wasn't going to talk about that. He's like, my uncle is dead because of this. Like, I trust you because Saphira respects you, but like, explain yourself. And Brom's like, you've probably never thought of it, but most of my life has been spent outside of Palancar Valley. Actually, that's not true. We know that Eragon did ask Garrow where you came from, and Garrow's like, I don't know, man. He showed up about 15 years ago. Always been quiet.
Yep.
No problems with... Big respect to Brom. Big fan of Brom. Yep. He never causes trouble.
Yep.
So that's funny. He's like, you've probably never thought about that. False. Actually, Brom.
Eragon has. Yep.
Brom's basically like, I have a complicated past. It was partly through a desire to escape that I came here. So no, I'm not the man you think I am. But I'm not going to answer your questions. At this point, you don't need to hear my history, nor have you earned the rights. I don't hand out descriptions of my life to anyone who asks. And I'm just like, no, I will not be participating in this manufacturing of the mystery mystic character.
Yeah.
Because actually, Brom, I think about everybody, Eragon has earned to get some direct answers to these questions.
Yeah, no kidding.
If you don't want to give him the truth, you can at least lie to him.
Yeah.
But this is, no, he's uncle just died. He's trying to kill these people. He's the dragon rider. You clearly have a lot of inspiration, but information. And you're just like, you haven't earned the right. No, now you're on an uneven playing field. You know more about Eragon and know more than Eragon. Like, this is just, I hate it. It's literally just to, like, keep Braum cryptic and mysterious, but simultaneously create unnecessary tension between him and Eragon.
Yep.
Like,
and that's like Eragon glared at him sullenly. I'm going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah. Like, I feel like that's Eragon, I feel like that is his I'm done moment. He's just like, fuck you, I'm going to bed.
Braum did not seem surprised, but there was sorrow in his eyes. Well, yeah, Braum, are you sad about how that played out? Maybe you should have made a different decision. Answered one of his questions. You could have been like, it's for me, it's like, you haven't earned the right. I don't just hand out my life story. You're a storyteller.
Yeah.
What is this all of a sudden?
And I do really like, so that's, I all of a sudden I just remembered, listeners forgive me, I remembered Harry Potter, and at the end of the first book where Harry asks, why did Voldemort try to kill me? And Dumbledore's like, alas, the first question you ask me, I cannot answer. But he's like, I can't answer it now. Later, perhaps when you are older, then I will answer it, but not right now. And I feel like that could have been this, because Dumbledore didn't go, you don't have a right to know.
That's what it is. It's the, I can't tell you yet.
Yeah, and I think, like, even though that would have still been infuriating, it would have, like, Braum would, all these names in my head right now.
Yeah.
Braum would, I don't know, I feel like the you don't have a right is, like, Eragon's like, my family just fucking died. Yeah. Like, are you kidding me right now?
And you're like, my family just died. The king is after me and my dragon, my best friend.
Yeah.
I have nothing. And you're demanding I trust you on credit.
Yeah.
Like, you could give me something.
And I also, like, and Braum could have just been like...
Braum just gets too defensive about
Yeah,
this.
he really does. And I do think, like, Braum could have been, like, saying something like, I'm not ready to discuss that yet.
Mm-hmm.
And just, like, any other questions that Eragon tried to ask him, just doesn't talk about it. Like, literally, like, he could have just, like, I am not ready to talk about that, and then continue doing whatever he's doing. And Eragon's pestering him with questions, and Braum just isn't given the time of day.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I told you what I told you, I'm not going to give you anything more. Yeah. And it's like, it's still infuriating, but I do think, I don't know, I do.
It's so dismissive of Eragon.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes me annoyed.
Yeah.
And that's why it's not just like, oh, let's make Braum mysterious. It's also creates this tension that I'm like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Okay, this is fine. I don't like Braum.
Yeah.
I think I have decided I don't like Braum as a character.
Yeah.
He's not a bad character. I don't like him, maybe not as a character. I don't like him as a person.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna be stuck hanging out with him.
Yep.
So fine.
Yeah.
Let's go, I guess.
And it is interesting, like, how we started. We're like, oh yeah, Braum is super chill. Like, Braum, yeah.
Braum.
And then it's like, then I think, like,
this is the most unchill person I've met.
Yeah, and I think
hung out with Sloane. That's a lie. Sloane is the most unchill.
Sloane is the most, yes. And I do.
The Razak also have no chill.
Yes, agreed.
Shade? Zero chill. Sorry. Okay, go on.
You're good. I think that, I think what it is, and I think like if this was intentional, then Paolini did a really good job creating that tension, even between wanting us to side with Eragon, and so that tension created.
So we don't trust.
We don't trust Braum either, because so far we've been like super like, okay, Braum's on the level kind of thing.
He's provided so much valuable information so easily.
Yeah, and he's just this like old man that just like, I know more than you, and it's like, yeah, whatever, Braum. But now it's because he dismissed Eragon's everything.
Yeah.
That is what's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, Eragon went through enough. He doesn't need your cryptic bullshit right now.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, that does create, like, right now, like, both of us are kind of irritated at Braum. We're like, dude, what the hell? And Eragon is also irritated with Braum. Mm-hmm. So if that was intentional, like, A+, like,
yeah, I guess,
absolutely.
Yeah, because it's more just like, because if Braum had been like, I'm not ready to answer, and Eragon was like, oh, I'm upset about this, I've been like, whoa, Eragon, he's just not ready to talk yet. He will.
Yeah.
But by making him being dismissive of Eragon, and now we're just like, how dare you be dismissive of our book friend?
Yeah.
This is some nonsense. We will not stand for it.
Yeah, and so it just creates that, like, grr, and, like, damn Braum, and, like, all this stuff, which does carry on to the next several chapters. And so it's well done. I do, and again, like, It's so well done, like, character-wise, because I do think, like, knowing Braum and then realizing not knowing Braum, like, that fits with his character.
Yes, I do like how it did cement, like, oh, you like, oh, we know Braum, he's a storyteller.
Yeah.
We don't know him, and Braum really drives the point that you aren't allowed to know me. And I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone thinks he's so cool and mysterious, whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Liz, what's our writing takeaway from these chapters?
I think I'm just kind of gonna go off kind of what we were just talking about, where it would be like, there's like, I don't know if we talked about this before, but like, you know, when you're forcing your characters into a plot, or like your characters have no business being in there, kind of thing. Like, this is definitely not that. Like, Braum is, I don't even know if I could word this right now, but it's like Braum isn't fitting the narrative that we believe he is fitting in, like, even in the mysterious essence of Braum, like, because he's coming off as someone
he's not being like it's weird because it's like when like Yoda, or I'm so sorry listeners, Dumbledore is like mysterious. It's like, oh, they're mysterious, and sometimes it's frustrating, but it always comes with an air of reverence. Or because we do still know Yoda and Obi-Wan were members of the Jedi Council, and they fought in the Clone Wars, and that's so reverence. And Dumbledore's this great wizard and leader and like headmaster of the school. And so when they are mysterious, we have this like, oh, it's frustrating, but like they obviously must have a good reason. And Braum is just being difficult. So you're right, he's not fitting into the narrative trope of what you'd expect of your like mysterious cryptic mentor. Because he's just stepping into being mysterious cryptic mentor without earning the mysterious cryptic nature.
It's annoying, it's frustrating, and it's real. Like, he's coming off as a real, because it's, again, a listener, sorry, Dumbledore is just like, throughout,
we gotta read more books.
We do. Throughout most of I feel like that's just like the most,
it's just the most influential one for our generation of readers.
Which is unfortunate. It's just like Dumbledore's put on this like magical pedestal with like light shining down and little twinkles, and just like, oh, he's just this like unreachable person, and da-da-da-da-da. And like that changes in the 7th book, but like Braum is real from the very beginning. Like, we do see him almost in that light when we first meet him. Like, he's a storyteller, he's mysterious, he knows all about dragons and dragon riders, and and then this is bringing him very much into reality. Like, he is real. So it's like, lean into the mystique of characters, but also like do your best to make them real in a frustrating way, because I think that pays off more.
In the reality, you would never be in awe of the mysterious cryptic mentor. You would only ever be annoyed that you have to do this.
Like Eragon.
Like, the mysterious cryptic mentor is not someone you would be in awe of. You would just be annoyed.
But can you just please just answer me? Like, I've gone through enough shit. Just talk to me. No. Well, fuck you.
Cool, man. I'm leaving.
Yeah, exactly.
But I can't.
But I can't.
Before we leave, I want to share some sparks of inspiration from our listeners.
Yes.
So we've got a couple sparks of inspirations and some geodes. Okay, well, I'll get this one out of the way first. This comes from Owen, fellow Percy Jackson podcaster for me.
Yeah.
From Through the Mist. My inspiration is Darien for making me want to climb rocks regularly. Thank you, Owen.
I love that.
I'm a rock climber. Went to post a lot of rock climbing videos on my Instagram. Did a fun trip to New York with a bunch of Percy Jackson podcasters this past year. Got to hang out with Owen. We went rock climbing together. Now we all climb.
Yay!
So there's the context for listeners.
That's
who
very
like,
good.
What? Regular podcast correspondent Curtis Moore. Always glad to hear from Curtis. With the geode.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to read their message.
Yeah.
For work, I got to visit these former mining towns in northern Nevada. They're really remote, and it makes me think of all the packers and freighters that had stories along those roads. There's also some really good exhibits on the Chinese laborers and other minorities in the area.
And then included just some really cool pictures.
Yeah. And I think, Curtis sent us this when we were trying to figure out, are we going to call it Geodes or Sparks of Inspiration?
Yeah.
So.
But no, it's really cool. Thank you, Curtis, for sharing that. Like, that's super cool.
And then Bailey sent us a video of just, this is my geode, my spark of inspiration this week. Feel free to share. I'd love to hear y'all's descriptions of this one. Oh, I just read. Oh, shoot. Okay, Lucy, well, how would you describe what this video is that Bailey shared with us? It's To me, it looks like someone capturing the reflection of light in water.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that's how I'm seeing it. Is it does look like someone is standing on the beach, and there look like clouds are rolling in, and it's like the clouds and the horizon on like the edge of the ocean have just like kind of merged, where you can barely see the sun coming through, but it's like that. So
gorgeous shimmering.
It's a gorgeous
like,
shimmering,
acrylics.
like, yeah, it's really pretty, and I do like how the artist is like. You see the artist like dab some paint or whatever they are using, and then they're using their fingers to blend it, and that is just so cool.
So tactile.
Yeah, it's very cool.
The colors, it just looks to me like what I imagine magic looks like.
Yeah,
and it is very beautiful. Thank you, Bailey. That is very lovely.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
We'll share this video to our story the day this episode comes out. So if you want to see the video and you go to our story and it's not there, message us and remind me to share the video to our story the day this comes out.
Yep.
Thank you.
Do you have a writer's take on this story?
Oh no, I'm super into like the if you're gonna have a mysterious mentor, remember they'd also be annoying.
Yes.
Like that seems like that seems
I like
real
that.
and also serves to like defy expectation of what that kind of character would look like.
Yeah,
in a realistic way and not just trying to be like genre. Genre, not undermining, but like twisting.
Yeah.
Which works, but yeah.
Yeah,
the
cliches
mentor would be annoying actually.
Yeah, it's just so overdone, you know? Like, so if you do it, have fun with it. Have fun with it.
And remember, that would be annoying to deal with, actually.
Yep, absolutely.
Leslie, thank you so much for joining me for this adventure.
And thank you for joining me on this adventure. As sad. It was like kind of like a sad and then annoying.
It's definitely, we're reaching when you see like the methods of storytelling where it's like, oh, the like the plot structure is like, oh, rising, climax and then thing.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily how a plot structure actually works.
Yeah.
You would zoom into those moments because a mountain isn't straight up to the point and back down. There's
a lot of ups
up
and downs.
So I think the madness of life was us finally hitting that last beat in that arc we were in, and now we have reached like our new arc in the Eragon adventure.
Yep, Eragon adventuring with Braum.
Yeah, and I am one hand excited to see like us. Okay, we're leaving Pelican Valley. We're moving forward. We're like taking the
getting
next step
into the world.
Oh man, is Braum gonna be annoying the whole time? Because like that's gonna be rough for me.
Yeah,
friends.
yeah.
But what do you think, dear listeners? What are some other mysterious cryptic mentors that we should know about to add to our examples of mysterious cryptic
please.
mentors? And you know, honestly, this is just going to be an ongoing call. If you ever have a spark of inspiration or a geode, please feel free to share that. We would love to. If you don't want to share that, let us know. We would definitely love to see what you have and share it with everybody, because that's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And it's inspiration in that you can even like inspire others, you know?
For real.
Absolutely. So if you're wanting to share, like, absolutely. If you just want to share with us and not let us share, like, let us know. Like, we are up for that. Like,
of course.
In every way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm. You can always send those to @EragonPod on Instagram.
Yep. And give us a follow.
Yeah, give us a follow. You could also let us know if you're listening on Spotify. Spotify does the questions things. So you can drop that in here. Actually, hold on. We had some this morning, actually.
Ooh.
Which, yeah, because usually it's like, just what do you think about this episode?
Yeah.
Or some episodes back, I asked, do you have a dragon cat or a goblin cat? 2 listeners have let us know that they have dragon cats.
Yay!
So, love to hear it.
Absolutely.
Also, sometime back, we asked, what is your cringiest 15-year-old sulk fest? And one of our listeners who is mentioned that they're 12, so maybe just screaming into a pillow. I'm gonna say, absolutely not, Zoe. No, not cringe. You express your emotions how you need to. Screaming into a pillow can be incredibly cathartic.
It can be very good.
The thing about cringy 15-year-old sulk fests is that you don't realize how cringy it was until you are older looking back. In the moment, it is just real, and your emotions, and you are experiencing them, and how you need to experience them. And that is good and justified, and take care of yourself however you need to.
Absolutely.
Screaming into a pillow can be very healthy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. So, yeah, you can always, if you listen on Instagram, those are fun, and they always delight me to see responses.
Yeah.
On, Spotify's there, Instagram's there, whatever you want.
Yep.
Let us know.
Yes, absolutely. Reach out.
Side, thank you for everyone who has rated the show on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's super cool. It helps other people know that this podcast is indeed worth their time.
Yeah.
And can bring other people into this like write-of creative
Good
community
vibes.
that we're like, yeah, vibes and community that we're looking to build and interact with.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely. And thank you very much, guys.
Yeah. And until next time, she's Lucy Hart.
And she's Darien Smartt.
And this is Eragon.
And back again.